number 17, be able to find the least common multiple of monomials. What is an LCM? All right, LCM is almost the reverse of a GCF. Least common multiple means I'm looking for the smallest big thing. Okay, smallest multiple, smallest number that two or more numbers divide into, right? So that's LCM. All right, finding an LCM. I'm going to show you two ways to do this again, and you can choose which one you want. Way number one, 56, 24. All right, count by 56s. So we got 56 plus 56 is 112. 112 plus 56 is 168. 168 plus 56 is 224. 224 plus 56 is 280. All right, now, you don't have to do that in your head. You can use a calculator and just keep hitting the plus button, right? I could say, for my lower set, 24 plus 24, enter, plus 24, enter, plus 24. All right, so we got 24, 48, 72, 96, 96 plus 24 is 120. 120 plus 24 is 144. 144 plus 24 is 168. And good thing that we got there because I'm running out of board space. But anyway, so you basically just list out the multiples and then look for the first multiple, the smallest multiple that is shared by both numbers. All right, 168 is the LCM of both of these. Okay. The other way that you could find LCM, so we should get to the same answer, is use this upside down cake method again. All right, we've got, you do the exact same things that you do for GCF. You're just going to change the last step. So I know that 8 goes into both of these. 8 goes into 56 7 times, and it goes into 24 3 times. All right, I jumped immediately to the answer. I can't reduce this anymore. And now 8 is the greatest common factor between both of them. The least common multiple is going to be 8 times 7 times 3. All right, so you multiply the things on the side and the things below. All right, make a big L shape for least common multiple, right? So 8 times 7 times 3 equals 21 times 8, 168, which is the number we knew it was going to be. Okay, looking at another example of doing this, let's say 72 and 84. I know 4 goes into both of these. 4 goes into 72. 18 times, 4 goes into 84, 21 times. I know 3 divides both of those. 3 goes into 18 6 times. It goes into 21 7 times. I know that no number other than 1 is going to evenly divide into 6 and 7. Right? So my GCF would be 12, 4 times 3. And my least common multiple will be 4 times 3 times 6 times 7. So 4 times 3 times 6 times 7, which is 42 times 3 is 126 times 4 is, well, 125 times 4 would be 500 plus 4, 504. All right, is the smallest number that both of them divide into. I'm going to double check my math on a calculator. 4 times 3 times 6 times 7 Yes, 504. I'm going to double check that 504 divides 84 since I got the calculator out. Divides it 6 times, and 504 divides 72 7 times. Intriguing. 6 and 7. You see that there? There's some number connections you might want to explore if you ever get curious. Alright. Alright. With just variables, again, having just variables is easier than numbers because if I got something like this, y to the 5th, y to the 9th, what's my least common multiple? Right here. If I got c squared, c to the 5th, and c, what's my least common multiple? Right here. If I got a to the 7th, a to the 4th, a to the 3rd, a to the 6th, what's my least common multiple? Right here. Alright, so least common multiple is going to be which one of my bases has the biggest exponent. Alright, and I know that it gets maybe a little confusing for some students to have the word least be the one where they're looking for the biggest exponent and the word greatest being the one where they look for the smallest exponent. All I can keep emphasizing is that last word is the one that matters. Multiples are big things. That's why I'm looking for a big number here. Factors, when we're talking GCF, are small things. That's why we look for a small number there. All right, again, the reason that this is the least common multiple is similar to what I showed with the last lesson. If I've got a to the 5th and a to the 3rd, I know that some number, a squared, times a to the 3rd will give me a to the 5th. That means a to the 5th is a multiple of a to the 3rd. That's what multiple means. It means I can multiply by something to get to it, right? And I know that a to the 5th is a multiple of itself. A to the 5th times 1 equals itself. So that's why this is the least common multiple of itself and any a to a power that's less than 5. All right, so LCM. All right, putting all that together, we got situations like this. So I can do this. 39 plus 39 is 68. True. 78. Plus 39 is 117. Plus 39 is 156. Plus 39 is 195. Plus 39 is 100, 200. 34. Hopefully, all right, doing my 91s. Hopefully one of these numbers, 91, will go into 91 plus 91 is 182. Plus 91 is 273. Ooh, all right. Let me continue out my 39s then. Good, one more. All right, one more 39 will work. So 234 plus 39 is 273. All right, so 273 is my least common multiple of 39 and 91. Again, you can use a calculator to make a table of your 39 tables times table and your 91 times table. All right, to get to the first number that is shared by them, the common multiple. All right, with my variables, we're choosing the larger one. And remember how with GCF, if you had a variable on one and not on the other, you excluded it. Well, this time p to the 3rd is bigger than p to the 0, so we're going to include it. All right, so final answer, least common multiple of these two things is 273 times m to the 5th times n to the 3rd times p to the 3rd. All right, That's the process. Look at another one or another few. 11 divides both of these numbers 2 times, 10 times. 2 divides both of those numbers 1 time, 5 times. All right. Multiply my terms together. And we're going to get 11 times 2 times 1 times 5 is 22 times 5 is 110. All right. And again, sometimes this happens. Since 22 divides into 110, 110 is a multiple of 22, and it's also a multiple of itself, so it will be the least. The 110 is a multiple of itself and of 22. All right, so it's the least common multiple. Then for my variable terms, c to the fourth, d squared, e to the fourth. All right, bigger exponent for each of them, so c to the fourth, d squared, e to the fourth. All right, final answer, least common multiple. Cool. You try one, hit pause, try this, unpause, see how it goes. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. That's my 6 times tables. 14, 14, 28, 42, 42. All right, both of these numbers divide into 42. 42 is my least common multiple. Y to the fourth, x squared, c squared. Final answer, 42, x squared, y to the fourth, z squared. Least common multiple. Try this one, hit pause, try it before I do it. All right, here we go. Two divides both of these 34 times, 30 times. 2 divides both of those 17 times, 15 times. All right, that's it. I'm going to multiply these together. So we got 2 times 2 times 17 times 15. I'm going to grab a calculator for that. 17 times 2 times 2 times 15. 1020 is the smallest number that 60 and 68 both divide into. All right. Variable terms, t to the third is bigger than t squared. U to the fifth is bigger than u to the first. V squared is bigger than v to the 0. All right, so t to the third, u to the fifth, v squared. Final answer, the least common multiple of those two terms is this guy. All right, we'll look at one more. What happens if you've got to find the least common multiple of 3 things? If you're going to use the method where you write out the numbers, so 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 18, 36. All right, we already came to something that is shared by them. The question is, does 10 also share it? The answer is no. All right, I know I'm going to need All right, so 60 is shared by both of these ones. Does 18 share it? The answer is going to be, again, no, unfortunately. 36, 54, 72, 90. All right, so I'm gonna need to get farther in my 12 times table, as well as my other ones. 90 will be shared by 10 and 18. So this one is going to take a while. All right, if I'm listing out my numbers. Anyway, point of the matter: if you're doing a list, you need to keep going until you find a number that's not just in 2 of the lists, but it's in all 3 lists. Okay, I'm not going to continue with that one. I'm going to use the upside down cake method. So I didn't leave myself a lot of space over here. 2, my fault. 2 divides all of them. Divides 12 6 times. It divides 18 9 times, and it divides 10 5 times. And nothing divides 6, 9, and 5. All right, but we are going to continue. Okay, so this is going to be different from GCF when you have three terms. I am going to continue as long as I have a number that divides at least 2 of my terms. So 3 divides 6 twice, divides 9 3 times. I'm just going to bring the 5 down because it's not being divided by that 3. Okay, now 2, 3, and 5, the only term that they share, the only factor that they share is 1. So now I am done. And I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 times 2 times 3 times 5. All right, multiply in my L shape. L for least common multiple once again. So 180 is the first number that all 3 of those go into. Then for my variables, again, it's pretty easy. A to the 5th is the biggest A term. B to the 4th is the biggest B term. C to the 8th is the biggest C term. So those will be the ones I use. A to the 5th, B to the 4th, C to the 8th. Okay? LCM, least common multiple.